What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome into another episode of the Triple Play Fantasy Baseball Show. Of course, a proud member of Empire Media and the Empire Media Podcast Network. D. Mendy here, joined by a guy that I don't know if he's mimicking me. I don't know if he's just trying to look cool, whatever the case may be. Of course, you see on the other side of me, to my right, the doc. What's going on? I guess I have to ask you that.
You know what, man? Vibes are good. Vibes are good. That you didn't trash me in the intro, so you know we're doing pretty well. I'm laughing at Kevin's comment already.
Yeah, man, I should have introduced you to the man with big cojones, but I'm saving that for the intro to the news and notes that we record after the show.
All right, cool.
We'll get up to date with that. But you are the least exciting person on this panel tonight, honestly.
Besides you.
No, I mean, I fit close to this crowd, but you are in a different stratosphere as far as below this group. So I need to introduce them the proper way here. First and foremost, we welcome in a woman that when I bring up the phrase rest of season, there should be only one person that comes to mind. The co-host of the Rest of Season Rankings podcast, co-host of the SP Streamer podcast. She's a Fantrax writer, an Atlanta Braves fan through and through, and a local DMVer just like the doc and myself. Ladies and gentlemen, the queen of keeper leagues and the waiver wire wizard, we welcome in Lauren Auerbach. How's it going?
Hey, guys. Good to be here. As always, David, that was an excellent intro. It was probably the best intro that I've had in my limited time making the rounds on the podcast. So thank you very much. But I'm very happy to be here.
We're really pumped to have you. You've been taking the fantasy baseball world by storm, and you have a lot of great analysis. Your Braves are looking good right now, too. So it's fun to talk about baseball when your team's in contention, I know. Makes it even better.
They are, although the Yankees just stopped their 9-game streak, but that's okay.
It's a good thing they don't have to meet until the World Series.
Right.
Well, I should have started with you second because now we got to bring things down again, and we got to welcome in the other half of the SP Streamer podcast. Unfortunately, here we welcome in a man that gets super smashed, ceases to exist, and dunked on by the host of Triple Play Fantasy, the man behind the account that is SP Streamer and the Simba to the animal kingdom that is the SP Streamer Nation. He provides you water to the streams that you continue to drink from. Ladies and gentlemen, a pitcher analyst and not a belly itcher, an owner of a pool in his backyard that I'll be jumping in, and definitely one of, I guess, a friend in the community. It is Michael Simione, SP Streamer himself. How's it going, man?
Thanks for the worst intro of all time.
Yeah, retweet.
I know what I feel like the Simba, the animal kingdom. He's gonna be having you drink from the streams.
That was good. That was good.
David, you did it again.
I get it, but it could have been better. That's okay.
Yeah, bring him down. Bring him down.
Now, did you pick up when I said ceases to exist?
I actually did not think of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta pick up on these small things. But,
that's all right. He stinks.
Pumped to have you both on the show. Quickly, I'll let Lauren and then Mike, you can add on anything. What have you guys been doing with the SP Streamer podcast? I know Doug is kind of doing the morning stuff now with you guys for those that haven't been tuning in or haven't caught up with you guys. What have you guys been doing the last few months and what can people expect when they listen to the SP Streamer podcast?
Me? Is it on me?
Yeah, I got to start with Lauren first and then Mike
can
take in there.
Well, we just had Emma Houghton on, who was a great guest, but we've also been doing a lot of kind of rest of season, like I'm totally tongue twisted here, but rest of season, looking at players that are going to do well and kind of like help you in categories and give you that final kind of push for down the playoff stretch, because it's crunch time right now, and so we have to kind of try and squeeze, get production wherever we can. So we've been focusing on that, and we've got another show coming up next week, which I don't think we know what we're going to be talking about, right, Michael? But we will find something good. But I think between the two of us, we've got, I think we do a pretty good job with analysis. Michael's really great, with all the pitchers, and I think I do a little bit well. I do well on the batter side, and with the combo, I think we do a pretty good job.
So I know this is kind of off topic here. What's your guys' favorite thing for a combo meal? Since you guys are basically a combo meal with the hitting and the pitching side of it, I feel like for obviously stolen bases and hitting, they call it a combo meal. Would you call it like a peanut butter and jelly? Would you call it like I know on CBS they call it a sock and a shoe. Do you guys have a favorite? Do you guys have a favorite combo name?
No, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
We haven't talked about a combo name. Maybe this is something we should do.
Stay weird, David. Stay weird.
Peanut butter and jelly, because I don't like peanut butter and jelly. So
I don't like the combo of peanut butter and jelly either.
Soda and beer for you, Simione.
I mean, yeah, we could just be like, bourbon and whiskey or something.
Yeah, we could whiskey and bourbon. There you go.
It's your job. You guys have to figure out what your combo is.
Well, maybe. Do you think we can come up with one by next week, Michael?
Yeah, I think we could do that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll figure something out.
That's our homework for the week.
All right, sounds
I'll be disappointed when I tune in if I don't hear at least one combo mention.
Okay.
You'll have
pineapple and pizza. Let's get a controversy.
All right.
Absolutely not.
Can't put that one in
there. You don't like anything.
What do you eat? Does anyone like pineapple on pizza? Does anyone actually like that?
I think they did in the 90s. What, do people still do that?
So I think me and Curlin talked about this last week. You can't just have pineapple by itself. It has to be with another topping, like pepperoni. Like you have to have a sweet and salty, spicy to kind of combat the sweet.
That I could get behind, but straight up pineapple, absolutely not.
Well, that's fair.
I don't mind straight up pineapple.
I'm with you, Lauren.
What? Okay, all right. There we go.
Yeah, luckily we're not talking about pineapple on pizza today. We're talking about a better topic. We're talking about August studs and duds. So they call it the dog days of summer. And we're closing the door in August and getting ready for the final month of the fantasy baseball season. Time to reach back, give it everything you got. That was really corny. For the last 4 weeks, part of it is paying attention to these fringe-worthy players. Have you been how have they been performing, deciding if you want to spend up in fab on certain guys down the stretch here, cut off that dead weight you don't want on your roster, all that good stuff, But anyway, so how I did this, I kind of tried to do the SP streamer-ish kind of thing here, and I looked at the consensus rostered around 60% and under between ESPN and Yahoo together here. So I've got 2 stud groups of hitters and 2 stud groups of pitchers, and then of course I have a dud for each as well. And you have to forgive me, listening audience, because I am now back to in-school teaching for the year. So the stats were going into Tuesday's game. So it's a couple games behind, but it should still be close. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% what it was when I originally wrote this, but the preface is the same here. So let's start diving in. Let's go into the hitters first. And the first category, and what I want you guys to do is out of the 3 I give you, just pick the one that you feel like you're most confident you want to talk about as far as somebody that either you're like, hey, don't buy into this, or you're like, hey, you need to listen to what I'm saying. Pick this guy up right now. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm kind of weird when I talk. So anyway, let's the first 3 guys here.
I got you. I understood.
The first
I'm the
3
worst
guys.
when it comes to that.
What is that?
I'm the worst when it comes to like saying anything.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys just saw me stumble over my words initially. So it's just now that's out of the gate. So now, ready to go.
It's a safe space. Okay. I love it.
It's okay,
I'm judging all of you.
So the 3 we're going to start out with is Ahmed Rosario, Connor Joe, and Nikki Lopez. Now, Ahmed Rosario was batting .382, .414, .608 slash with 19 runs, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases so far in the last 30 days here. Connor Joe, a .322, .395, 86 clip, 12 runs, 6 homers, 21 RBIs, and Nikki Lopez, .286, .316, .385, 10 runs, 1 homer, 10 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases. So these 3 hitters, again, over the last 30 days. Mike, let me go to you first. Which of these 3 hitters are we bringing to the table first?
I mean, we'll just go in order, I guess. We could talk about Ahmed Rosario. I kind of think that he is going to be maybe not as good, but obviously I think he's going to be worthwhile to roster moving forward. I just think he's making a lot more contact, a lot better contact. He's making more contact in the zone. And basically he's able to do that because he's been a lot more aggressive at the plate. And because of that, that's led to a 174 WRC plus in the past month. The BABIP is high, but I feel like even when it normalizes, he still could be hitting around 300. So you're going to get a hitter who's hitting, either high 2s to around 3, and then he could get you some bags. So I feel like he's definitely worth holding on to or grabbing if he's out there.
I hear those stats, and all I just think is,
oh, yeah.
It's starting to be your most overused.
Who is that?
That's SpongeBob. Lauren, out of these 3 names, who stuck out to you on this list?
Well, I was going to go with Ahmed Rosario as well, just because I think that what I like about him is that he does make a lot of contact in the zone, but he contributes a little bit everywhere. He's not going to hurt you anywhere, right? And which is something that you want to see. So if you need some steals, he can help you out. He's batting second. Cleveland likes to run, so you've got some nice runs scored upside there. And he's solid in the batting average department. So he's not going to hurt you. You know, if you're making kind of a final push, or if you just need a fill-in player, he's great. So I also like Ahmed Rosario, but I can also do we need to be talking about everyone, or were we picking one out?
I was just
Yeah.
whoever you're putting your heart and soul into out of this group.
Out of those three, I would roll with Rosario out of all of those.
Well, here's my thing though. I feel like it depends on what you need too with your team. Like if you want power, I feel like Connor Joe's the man to go, especially because obviously when he plays in cores, but in the last month, his ISO is at like a ridiculous mark. His barrel rate has been up. He reached a new max exit velocity. And his strikeout rate is starting to dip a little bit too. So I feel like if you want power, Connor Joe's the way to go. But if you want average with a little bit of bags, I feel like Rosario, although you can make an argument for Nikki Lopez. I like all three of them.
He's got 10 stolen bases.
I like all three of them.
I mean, I think like Nikki is a straight up, if you need steals, Nikki's your guy,
the problem
right?
With Nikki is you were getting literally no power.
That's it.
I know he hit a home run the other day, but that's probably going to be it the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like he's straight up steals. And so if you need that right now, then he's a solid pickup. But you do have to be kind of a little wary, because if his hitting starts to fall off, I think that his batting average can plummet. He's got an expected batting average of 230. And with his limited time, kind of in the majors, he has a .060 ISO and a 303 OBP, which isn't good, so it's just like I would, if roll with him if he needs steals, but once he kind of starts to fade a little bit, if he does, then I would kind of pull the plug on him.
I think that's well said. Again, kind of like you guys are touching on, depending on what you need. If you need power, if you need steals, if you kind of need a little bit of everything, that's kind of how you can look at it here. And good point with the power, Lauren, too, because that ISO is absolutely dreadful. So you can't expect really much of anything from him. Doc, I guess we can hear from you, too. Who is the...
Well, I didn't pick Ahmed Rosario. I picked someone with...
Okay.
Yeah, I picked Connor Joe. First of all, not a fan of people with two first names. So
I'm with you there,
yeah. You have to factor that in.
Crowd pleaser.
I'm also not buying it. He has 185 career plate appearances, and he's 29 years old. So obviously teams haven't believed in him for long periods of time. And I look at the home road splits, and they are real. He's hitting 343 with 5 homers, 17 RBIs at home, and 67 at-bats. And away, he's hitting 250 with 2 homers, 12 RBIs, and 80 at-bats. So I know what Mike said, where his ISO has been ridiculous the past month. He said a new high exit velo, but they're also talking about Raymel Tapia coming back September 1st when rosters expand. So he might not have every day playing.
Eric, you're the king. You were the king of can't listen to those timelines. You're going against yourself.
No, they're talking about how when the rosters expand, that's when they would bring him back, that he might be ready now, but they're not going to rush him back. But when teams can field more players,
talking about, so
that's true. Conventional wisdom does not.
You could be right. I mean, for all we know, they could just bench Connor Joe the rest of the year too. We have no idea. They're just crazy over there. But.
I mean, if you can stream him a week where the Rockies are at home, I would feel more confident. But he doesn't provide much when he's playing away.
All right, Eric's putting a Debbie Downer on Connor Joe there. So. Let's move to this next group of stud hitters and talk about him here. Miles Straw, who in the last 30 games, 304, 366, 431 slash, 22 runs, only 1 home run, 10 RBIs, and 6 steals. Tyler Naquin, 325, 398, 639 slash with 18 runs, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, and 1 steal. It's been kind of a weird season with Tyler Naquin. He was extremely hot, then cold.
David, stop. I'm going to talk about him.
And then the Frank the Tank Schwindel, 361, 418, 639 slash, 11 runs, 4 home runs, 15 RBI. So, Lauren, I'll start with you first on this one. Out of this group, which one needs to be talked about?
This is tough because I think that I like a lot about all three of these guys, but I'm going to roll with Miles Straw. I did write about him a couple weeks ago at Fantrax, so I'm just going to plug that right there. But he basically, since the deadline, the trade deadline, he moved over from Houston to Cleveland. He's, the run opportunities, in Cleveland aren't as good as they are in Houston, but he's batting leadoff. Like I said earlier, kind of with Ahmed Rosario, they do like to run, and he's found himself in a nice kind of opportunity now post trade deadline. So, since the trade, he's batting 296. He's got 19 runs scored, 7 RBI, and 4 stolen bases, as well as 9 doubles. He's not going to give you power. So again, what Michael brought up with our earlier set of guys, if you need power, Miles Straw is not your guy. But he's tied for 6th best in the league in steals. And both his whiff rate and his chase rate are in the top 5% of the league. So he's got, solid kind of plate approach. And that's consistent with his minor league numbers. So I guess this is, he's got the run scored upside. He has the steals. He's got the average. He's not going to give you power, but he's sitting atop, a lineup. And, I think that he's good rest of season. And I think that the move to Cleveland for both him and Cleveland is a good match.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to get the playing time for number one, like he hadn't been getting in Houston consistently. He's going to steal bases. Like you said, the strikeout rate has been improving. And I think ultimately somebody that's going to help you down the stretch here. And again, 304 average, if he's hitting for that kind of average for you down the stretch, that's an extra bonus there. Doc, I guess you're talking about Tyler Naquin.
Well, I just want to touch on Miles Straw. I picked him up like a month ago in our home league. That's David. He's been doing well. He's Miles Straw, and here we are talking about him on the show. Next, we'll be talking about Jake Bowers in the list of people we never thought would.
You want to lose? You want to lose the people watching it?
All right. Well, I'll switch to Tyler Naquin, and I'm buying him. This season, he has the 2nd highest walk rate of his career, and the 2nd lowest strikeout rate of his career. Now, he is a streaky guy, as David had talked about. He had 6 home runs in March and April, 64 at bats. Then he had 7 home runs in May through July, 241 at-bats. Then he has 5 home runs this month and 63 at-bats. He's hitting .397 this month, and he's hitting .457 during his 12-game hitting streak. He's locked into an everyday role in a hitter-friendly ballpark, and Cincinnati's lineup looks to be locked and loaded. I'm rolling with him rest of the season.
Are you not concerned that he's going to get hurt again? As that's been the Tyler Naquin story, that he can't stay healthy. Is that play?
I mean, there's a month and change left of the season. I'm banking that he doesn't.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not like he's Nick Senzel or Byron Buxton.
Oh my God, they're just walking injuries.
Yeah.
All right, Simione. Any of the ones mentioned your people, or do you have the third person as your person?
I just want to say I do like the Miles Straw call, because I noticed that he actually has increased his launch angle and which has led to more line drives and a better batting average. So I feel like Straw is kind of becoming the real deal. I'm with Doc on Naquin, actually, because I think what's most important, which he kind of mentioned career-wise, he's dropped the strikeout rate, but even since in the past month, so I think his strikeout rate for this season is 22.7%, but in this month it's dropped to 13.9%. So that's a massive difference. And I think he just has a new approach at the plate. And because of that, he has a 15.1 barrel rate in August. So I think the power is for real. I think he could give you a ton of power. So I feel like if you're feeling a little frisky and want to take a chance, he's the guy to go with.
Feeling frisky? Oh, man. Okay. All right. I guess if you're feeling frisky there, you heard it from him himself.
That's right.
What sound drop are you going to use for that, David?
Yes, you need Tyler
That's
Naquin.
a pretty good one.
You need Tyler Naquin in your lineup. SpongeBob has spoken. Okay. Let's talk about some duds here. We've got Didi Gregorius, 210, 275, 358 slash, 4 runs, 2 homers, 9 RBIs in the last 30 days. Austin Hayes, who I know had a bases clearing double the other night, so I know for sure these won't be in his stats. But before that, 196, 228, 330 with 8 runs, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 2 steals. Your boy did call. That was one of the duds I hit on before the season started. I didn't think was going to be good. Thanks, Eric.
I will not applaud you.
Joe Adell, 200, 253, 300 slash, 7 runs, 1 home run, 12 RBIs, 1 steal. Everybody keeps waiting for Joe Adell to happen, and it's just not going to happen. It's like trying to make fetch happen. It's just not going to happen. Joe Adell just seems like it's a lost cause at this point, honestly. But go ahead, Doc. Which one of these do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of you and talk about how much of a dud Joe Adell is.
That's a perfect transition.
I mean, this is a guy that has had a statistically low walk rate. I mean, this year it's 5%. It's been low in the minors. His highest was 10.4, and that was in Double-A ball. So if you're not walking a lot in Double-A, you're surely not going to improve as you get to the majors. And he's had a really high K rate, and kind of the opposite of what we're talking with Naquin. This year it's 28.7%. Last year it was 41.7%. That's higher than Miguel Sano, who's a walk, striker, home run guy. And the Angels have no protection in their lineup. Mike Trout, there's looking like increasing odds he doesn't play again this year. Rendon is out. Besides Ohtani and I think Brandon Marsh has been pretty hot. There's literally no protection for him. I know it's very early to call it a bust, but I feel like he's going to be the Forrest Whitley of hitting, where he's just so hyped up and he just never amounts to anything. Now, albeit he's actually played in the majors, so he's a little bit further than Forrest Whitley, but I just don't think we're going to see the Joe Adell prodigy that we thought.
Now, let me say this. It takes a special 2 guests in here to get one little cheesecake to hop into the chat. He doesn't hop in the chats too often, so that is honored. A special moment right there. No, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, Joe Adell's still young, but I'm at this point right now, like the strikeout rate's just been awful for so long, even though it's better this year. At some point, the Forrest Whitley of hitters, I think that's pretty bad. That's a hard comparison there.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to be wrong.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, right. I totally get that. And I think if we're talking about this season, I think if you're like in a redraft league, you know, I know everyone talks about his upside, but we're past the point right now where you can't bank. There's not enough time to bank on upside right now, right? So, you know, I think it's a different thing if you're talking about kind of like a dynasty or a keeper league or something. But this season, I think that, you know, I wouldn't have him on my roster right now for a redraft league. I wouldn't go so far as Doc as just to say that I'm not going to write him off entirely yet, but I will for this season. But I'll still give him a little bit of. I mean, he's a top prospect. He does have that. He does have a problem with strikeouts. But you know, let's see what happens next year. I think this year is he's kind of donezo, but I'm not going to write him off fully.
So I'll upgrade him a little bit. Then he's the Nate Pearson of hitting.
Okay, there you go. Then that's better.
Okay,
that's a better.
You can't call Nate Pearson.
Nate Pearson. Oh,
I think that's a little early on the Nate Pearson. Not to beat a dead horse, but I agree with Joe Adell here. I mean, it's too many contact issues there. I do think you get your power though. And he kind of reminds me of I kind of think of him as like I want to say like Joey Gallo, but he'll only hit like 20 homers. There you go. See?
Wait, show the one before.
I agree with Eric there.
Do it.
No shot.
He said have Michael dance. He said he agrees.
I was gonna see if I could pull up and put it on the screen of you doing your dance, but
you could have.
But
is that a gift for me?
I'd rather you do the real thing, honestly.
No, it's not happening.
How about this? If you win the game tonight, you have to dance.
Then I'll lose on
purpose. If I win the game, he has to do it.
Dancing's not happening. I only do that. No, never happening again.
At least with that, we have a gif of it forever. And
maybe
ever,
at first pitch, but we'll see. I'll maybe do it at first pitch
just
because David won't be there.
That's so mean.
Let's get a lot of bourbon in him and then ask.
All right, let's talk about some pitching now. Let's go into Michael's wheelhouse here. We've got Cal Quantrill, 37.1 innings pitched in the last 30 days with 6 starts, 5 being quality starts, a 1.46 ERA over that time. You got Kyle Freeland, 29.2 innings pitched, 5 starts, 3 quality starts, a 3.10 ERA. And then you got Daniel Lynch, 36.2 innings pitched, 6 starts, 3 quality starts, and a 2.27 ERA. Now, pitchers definitely are very volatile, and a lot of times it's very matchup dependent, but some of these guys have been doing it consistently and over and over and over and over again. So I'm going to start with Simione again. Who is the pitcher you want to talk about?
The only one that I think interests me really in this group is Kyle Freeland. I know you got Coors Field and all that stuff, but since July, he has a 2.89 ERA with a FIP to match it, a 1.13 WHIP. The Sierra is not bad either. And basically the way he's doing is just in how he's always done it when he's, like 2 years ago when he was pitching really well. He's inducing a lot of weak contact, low barrel rate, low hard hit percentage. He has a legit slider. It's a really good whiff pitch to have. So I just feel like it's hard to go against him at this point. I mean, he's got 2 months of a sub-3 ERA, and I feel like you can't ignore him anymore. And he's just someone to consistently start. So I'm going to go with Kyle Freeland because I see issues with the other 2 pitchers here. So
that's fair. That's fair. They definitely have some holes in them. I know. Obviously, Daniel Lynch, even like not looking. First of all, his strikeout rate isn't great, and he also doesn't have the track record. He struggled really badly his first time up. So that you have to wonder, hey, how long can he be doing this? Cal Quantrill doesn't interest you at all because he's actually also limiting a lot of hard contact, which I think is very interesting.
The problem with me and Quantrill is he has none of his pitches can induce a lot of whiffs. Like he has no true swing and miss pitch. And he's really relying on his slider location command. And it like he is a clone to me as Zach Plesac right now. Like relies on really, really, really good command, but doesn't have amazing stuff. And that's what the Indians are so good at. But if that command goes away, like what happened to Plesac, he has nothing else to go back on. So I feel like if that command gives up or when it does give up, Quantrill's going to have nothing else and he's just going to get hit hard. So that's what worries me about him and why I can't buy into him.
Okay, that's fair. So, Lauren, did he poo-poo over either of the ones you wanted to talk about, or you agree?
Well, I was going to go with Freeland, and he covered the points that I had. Thank you very little, Michael. And yeah, I mean, I think that Quantrill is interesting. I like that comparison to Plesac. I think it's a good comp. It's just like, he is in the mold of those Cleveland pitchers where, they don't blow you away. They're really great at command. And they can locate the pitches really well. But if that's not there, then it's no bueno. It's not good, And so if he can't do that, then he loses a lot of value there. So yeah, I mean, those are the 2 that I was going to cover. Is anyone going to talk about Daniel Lynch at all? Or
no? I'm going Freeland as well.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Wow. Man,
David, you know Kyle Freeland's my guy.
No love for Lynch. Okay, fair enough. Did you want to add anything to Freeland, Eric?
Yeah, so I mean, Simione had talked about how he's been recently. Look, the beginning of the season was rough. First 5 starts, he had a 9.8 ERA, but the 11 starts since then, 2.38 ERA. He's faced the Dodgers twice, the Padres twice, the Cardinals, the Giants. He's had 6 home starts, so more home than road. His curve has been nasty this year, a .88 batting average, big change in the vertical movement, and he throws 5 pitches. Talked about the slider, the curve, sink, change-up, fastball. And if we look at his 2018 season, when he finished 4th in Cy Young voting, he was 17-7 with a 2.85 ERA. He's only 28, so it's not like this is a mirage. And you got to feel confident starting him the rest of the year.
All right, so if you have Kyle Freeland on your roster, you can walk around feeling invincible because sounds like everybody agrees on Kyle Freeland there. So let's move to another group of stud pitchers. Let's talk about Carlos Hernandez, 31.1 innings pitched with 5 starts, 3 quality starts, a 2.05 ERA in the last 30 days. Reynaldo Lopez, 21 innings pitched, 3 of those starts, 0 quality starts, but he's been just an ace in the bullpen, a 1.71 ERA over that time, but maybe he can pick you up some wins if he's piggybacking. Nestor Cortez Jr., 29.2 innings pitched with 5 starts, 2 being quality starts, and a 3.14 ERA. Interesting group of guys here. Lauren, who intrigues you the most?
Carlos Hernandez is kind of interesting to me. I mean, since he's moved from the bullpen to the rotation, like I said, I mean, he has a 2.05 ERA, a .98 WHIP, and his ERA estimators are kind of hovering around the 4s. But he's had solid opponents and he's pitched well. He's faced the White Sox twice, the Yankees, Houston. He also had the Cubs in there. But he faced everyone, had quality starts. He got one earned run or less in all of those except for Houston. But he's got a solid pitch arsenal. I think the stuff is there. I think it's interesting. He's got a really mean fastball, and his fastball velo is 97.4. And I think when he's throwing that and then he mixes that with his curve and his slider, which are kind of in the low to mid 80s, it's really keeping batters off rhythm. And so I think that's interesting. Since he's moved to, I don't know if there's a lot of strikeout upside. I mean, since he's moved to the rotation, we've seen his strikeouts go from a 24.3 to a 19.1. But his stuff interests me, I think, and he does have the ability to get strikeouts. So, I'm interested in Carlos Hernandez.
Okay, fair enough. Totally separate.
Mm-hmm.
I know Doc knows this answer, so you're not allowed to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Do Mike or Lauren, do either of you remember the pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians that had the last name Hernandez that pitched probably, I guess it was over 10 years ago now? He pitched with CC Sabathia when he was on that staff. He used to go by a different name.
No idea.
No,
he's a
I don't.
cheater.
Used to go by a different name?
So you will know him by a different name, but he was he was a potential Cy Young Award candidate, one of his best years. Pitched with CC Sabathia when they were with Cleveland.
Is
Jake
he like
Westbrook
on the bigger
days.
side?
Jake Westbrook days.
Is he on the bigger side?
He is now.
Is he fat now?
I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was muy gordo.
Okay.
I don't know. You could just tell.
Do either of you remember the pitcher Fausto Carmona?
No.
Mm-mm.
What?
Mm-mm.
How do we know this? And you guys?
Wait a second.
How do we not know this? I don't know.
Fausto Carmona, now Roberto Hernandez.
Oh, Roberto Hernandez. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
He used to go by Fausto Carmona.
I didn't know that.
I don't
It's
know
like when Giancarlo Stanton used to go by Mike.
By Mike, yeah.
Wow, everybody knows.
I feel like someone else changed their name too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how did Fausto Carmona was the one I think everybody knew his name, and then Roberto Hernandez was like he actually changed his name because that was like at the end of his career. All right, well,
I don't know.
What did that have to do with this?
Because she's
just the last name.
Just because sometimes I get a little off topic.
I mean, you're right. Hernandez is a very uncommon name.
I don't know. Literally, I just for some reason they both pitched in the same division. I don't know. I'll get back on track here. Doc, pick one of these out for me.
Yeah, so I'm talking about Reynaldo Lopez, and I'm not buying him. I mean, look, he's career mid-4s, low 5 ERA pitcher, and he's going to give you like 1 or 2 games a year where he'll throw 8 innings plus, 2 earned, 10 Ks. He did that in 2019, and he does it against good teams where you're like, okay, maybe he's finally unlocked the potential. And he's had a few good outings this year, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 Ks versus Oakland. But I'm not buying him long term. Now, maybe if the White Sox put him in a Michael Kopech role where he pitches an inning or 2 at a time, then he's pretty effective.
Gives up 5 earned runs today.
What'd you say?
You mean the role that gives up 5 earned runs? Like
did Reynaldo Lopez give up 5 earned today?
No. Michael Kopech gave up 5 earned runs today.
Oh, I mean, prior to that, Kopech has been good in an inning or 2 role. I know he has a 1.86 ERA and a 0.83 WHIP, but I wouldn't trust him as a starter. Like I said, if you play in a points league or a league that does holds, maybe a little bit more value, but he's kind of just a jag at this point.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting thing will be if they try to limit the innings of Carlos. I know Carlos Rodon was on the Phantom IL list, and now he just pitched today. Actually, he was his first game back. But if they try to limit their starters at all down the stretch, they have a pretty decent lead in the AL Central. So if they limit their pitchers' innings, then Reynaldo Lopez gets to have a lot more bulk appearances because they're limiting Giolito to maybe 3 or 4 innings, or Carlos Rodon, whoever they limit to save him for the playoffs. Then Lopez is going to have a chance to get a lot more wins if they're doing that. So I think that's one of the things that could
or kill your ratios.
I mean, again, maybe if they only have him pitch 1 time through the order, that might be something that could work well for him until he builds.
Then he's not going to get a win.
No, if he comes in after,
if he piggybacks,
I'm saying if he uses a piggyback.
Okay,
I don't know if that's how they'll use him, but we can see. All right, Simione, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
I refuse to look at Reynaldo Lopez. I won't even look at his profile. I give up on that guy. I agree with Lauren, actually. I'm with Carlos Hernandez. She explained it really well. I mean, his stuff is just really, really, really good. High 90s fastball, killer slider, the curveball induces a lot of weak contact. I think the main crutch is he has some issues with command, and I think that's what ends up getting the best of him from time to time. But again, young pitcher and something he certainly can work on. And I feel like if you have the stuff, command is a little easier to do compared to vice versa. So I really like Hernandez a lot. I don't know if he's going to really do it this year, obviously, but coming into next year, I'll definitely be behind him where I can.
Do you guys feel he's matchup proof at this point? Like, are you starting him with confidence regardless of the matchup? Do you guys believe in him that much down the stretch, or is it only against teams kind of at the bottom of like a WRC plus or however they're hitting the last few days? Is that factor in with him, or is it, what do you guys think with him?
Well, I mean, he's held his own. I mean, maybe we have a different opinion. I mean, he has held his own. I guess it does depend, but he has held his own against some strong offenses so far. So I guess I would like a little C confident. I'll do a little C confident.
I mean, he has pitched really well against the White Sox and stuff. I mean, Houston ended up hitting him, but I wouldn't say matchup proof. Like, I don't think I'd throw him out there against like, the Giants or the Astros or anything like that. But I mean, basically anyone besides the top offenses, I just toss him out there and see what happens. Because I mean, worst case, he's going to probably get you Ks. So at least he'll get that if he doesn't have that great of a start.
So no Nestor Cortez love. You guys don't love the deceptive delivery with the high offense back in him. I know
arm angles
don't look great, but do you think that he can Johnny Cueto his way to relevancy down the stretch here?
I literally wrote under in my notes, think Johnny Cueto. I mean,
the swag is up there.
I don't think he's a bad pitcher at all, but I just would much rather prefer Hernandez over him.
Yeah,
because
and I think
Cortez,
also, oh yeah, go on.
No, that was it.
I would say, I mean, I also think, it's a little tricky when you're talking about kind of fly ball pitchers, at Yankee Stadium. And, I don't know if I feel super confident that he's going to continue to limit hard contact. And that also is a little dicey at Yankee Stadium. So, I think he's been fine, but I wouldn't be rolling him out with a ton of confidence.
All right. Then let's move to the last group of pitchers we're going to talk about here. And we're going to talk about the duds. And we have to lead off the duds with Zach Plesac, of course. 26.2 innings pitched, 5 starts, 1 quality start, a 6.49 ERA. This did not factor his start against Texas, but he gave up 14 hard hit balls in that start. Even though his line looks okay, it was not pretty. And I think he benefited from a lot of balls in play luck, and I would not expect that. And Texas is one of the worst offenses. So Zach Plesac, again, the 6.49 ERA going into the most recent start against Texas. Logan Gilbert, 25.1 innings pitched, 5 starts, 1 quality start, an 8.17 ERA over the last 30 days in those 25 innings there. And Dallas Keuchel, 33 innings pitched, 6 starts, 1 quality start, 6.21 ERA over that time. So go ahead, Doc. You can lead this one off of the duds. Who is the dud that you are trying to cut bait with right now?
All right, well, I'll trash Dallas Keuchel for everyone. He's going to continue to suck. And it's funny, I looked at his career, and he's alternated good and bad seasons. So this year, he's having a bad season. But in 2020, he was 5th in Cy Young voting. 2019 is when he didn't get picked up to begin the season, and the Braves signed him in an expected ERA of 4.66. And in 2018, he had an expected ERA of 3.57. So that means next year he's going to have a good year. His whip has been 1.3 plus 3 out of the last 4 years. He has the lowest K percentage since his rookie year. To combat that with the highest walk percentage since his rookie year. He's thrown 1,501 innings pitched. And that group he's in is the Steven Strasburgs, the Jose Quintanas, and the Jake Arrietas. 2 of those 3 are awful this year, and 1 of them has barely pitched. So to think that you're going to get good production from Dallas Keuchel this year, you probably won't, but a good buy low candidate next year.
I mean, again, he's still got the great offense behind him. He's durable. He can throw a lot of innings. Mike, I'll go to you next. I think he would probably be the one out of this group I probably feel the best about. Even I don't feel great about any of these people, but if I had to pick them in order, he's probably the one I would put the highest as far as liking.
Do you have any bias because you took Plesac early?
No, I mean, no, like it's just a fact that when Plesac's even good, he's bad. Like he's not getting Ks like everybody, like people thought he was going to get strikeouts. And people also thought he was going to give you a lot of innings. He hasn't been giving you a lot of innings.
Hurt said I took him over Zach Wheeler in TGFBI. I went against my gut. I was texting David and Nara.
If we're just spewing out things, I took Kenta Maeda over Corbin Burns. So we can.
That is true.
We can do all this all night. But
yeah,
go ahead, Mike. Who is the pitcher you want to talk about in this dud group?
I mean, I actually want to talk about a pitcher I like and who I actually tweeted about today, and that's Logan Gilbert. I mean, he has a really, really, really good four-seam fastball that has a ton of vertical movement to it, and I really like his breaking balls as well. I think he just gets killed on the changeup because sometimes he leaves it over the plate, but he's young and there's room for growth. And before August, I mean, in the month of June and July, he had a 3.35 ERA with a FIP that was a 3.08. So he actually should have pitched even better. And I think that just, proved that he has the stuff to be successful. And in August, he really just had two bad starts, and that was against the Houston Astros and Toronto Blue Jays. Two really good offenses. So, you kind of can't blame him for that. He's a rookie pitcher. Obviously, those offenses are going to take advantage of him and, his weaknesses. So I think he's going to be a lot better moving forward. And as well as next year, I said I'm going to be all in on him next year just because I really like this stuff. So I think he's not nearly as bad as his August numbers show. And I think he could be like a high 3 ERA pitcher the rest of the season.
Right, I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to point out that, Logan was he's in the dud list, but I think that he's less duddy than I think he looks right now. His ERA estimators are sub-4. Michael referenced those kind of just really two bad outings against Houston and Toronto. He also had, there should be positive regression because he had a 3.49 BABIP during that time and a 51.2 left on base percentage. He still gives you Ks. He's been giving you Ks during this kind of bad period. 30 Ks and 28 innings pitched, and he has good command. So I'm kind of with Michael on this one, and I think that I'm still kind of confident with him this season. He has Seattle, I think, coming up. Maybe
he has Kansas City tomorrow.
Oh, he's Kansas City. Okay.
How are you guys feeling about that? Some of us are debating about starting him.
I would definitely start him.
I would. Start
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Does this turn into an advice show, Eric?
I wait till we're off air. I got to ask Simione about my pick tonight. And Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, so I think there's some positive regression there, and I do like Logan Gilbert, and definitely next season I think that he should be moving up people's ranks.
Let's play a little name game here. We've got a bonus game to our regular game. Logan Gilbert or Alek Manoah?
For what? Like
for this rest of the season?
This season?
Let's talk. Let's say for when you're drafting next year, who are you taking first?
It depends on draft price.
I'll take Alek Manoah because of wins.
Assume it's equal for right now.
Yeah.
I
still want to say Gilbert.
So one Manoah, one Gilbert.
I think I would do Manoah. I think that the win potential there is good.
Logan Gilbert or Shane McClanahan?
McClanahan.
Logan Gilbert or Casey Mize?
Logan Gilbert.
You're
not going to fully unleash Casey Mize for another, not next year, but the year after is when they'll unleash Casey Mize.
Logan Gilbert or Trevor Rogers?
Ooh.
Trevor Rogers. Is that even a question?
All right, last one. Trevor Rogers or Alek Manoah?
Rogers.
No. I'm sorry. Trevor Rogers or McClanahan?
That's tough.
I still may roll Rogers.
I want to say Rogers because I feel like he'll get more innings.
Okay. So these are going to be a lot of I think the cool thing about the pitchers that we just mentioned is that it's a great young crop of pitchers that are now kind of going to get more innings next year.
I feel like pitching's going to be deep next year.
Yeah, like those are guys that if you miss on the aces early on, that these guys are going to be great guys to have in the middle to like back ends of your rotation. And I think that's pitching's in great hands right now. Even some guy who I personally like, Luis Garcia, who is you could say he's overperforming what he's doing, but right now he's been very consistent this year outside of a couple starts. I think he's also a pitcher to watch next year too, as innings will go up. So we'll keep an eye on that. But great discussion of all these pitchers and hitter studs and duds. But let's get to the fun part of the show, and that's going to start with the question of the week.
2,000 years later.
All right. Our question of the week is sponsored by Monkey Knife Fight, an official affiliate. Triple Play is an official affiliate to Monkey Knife Fight, the fastest growing sports betting site in the United States. Use promo code Triple Play and get up to $50 of your deposit match when you become a new user and you use that code. So our question of the week was picked out by the doc this week. And his question was, which MLB player do you think was the biggest class clown in high school? So I would like to, if you guys have a reasoning behind it, I think it makes it even cooler. But if not, just whoever you think it could be, just who screams it to you. So Lauren, we'll start with you. Who's the class? Who was the class clown?
What about Joey Votto? Just because he's Joey Votto and he's crazy and he's goofy and he'll just send videos of himself mopping in shorts to his teammates, not saying anything, and it's just like very Joey Votto. So I'm gonna roll with Joey Votto.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean that alone, just him doing that in his shorts, I think like that's something a class clown would do.
Only in shorts, mopping floors. Like he takes videos of himself doing this.
God, can you imagine? Probably in high school what he was doing. He's probably
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's a great way to start it off. Simeone, what's your pick?
I mean, Lauren stole my pick. I was gonna say Joey Votto as well. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like he's always a character out there. I know a lot of people love Brett Phillips.
I was gonna say that's been the popular answer.
He always does like crazy things on the field and funny stuff like that too. So I would go with those two.
Okay. So Brett Phillips and Joey Votto have been the two. What about you, Doc?
I'm going Andrew McCutchen. I mean, just such a fun guy. Have you guys heard his Cleveland Brown impersonation?
Mm-mm.
He does. Oh, you haven't? Oh, we got to look it up after the show. He's just a wacky guy. And you even look at his Twitter bio. I don't pimp home runs. Okay, sometimes I do. Larry is my alter ego as of 2/12/20. Just seems like a fun guy. Love to get a beer with him.
Yeah. Like a hangout guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's got a lot of personality. For some reason, and I'm going against, I said to give some kind of reasoning behind it. I feel like Bryce Harper might have been. I feel like, I know he's like comes off as like very serious, but I feel like when he was like young, he was like really immature and probably like as like a middle schooler, I could have seen him being that guy. And
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like I know he's done like, he did some like Barstool stuff and like they're kind of like class clown type of vibes and stuff like that. So I could see him when he was younger doing stuff like that. But not any concrete evidence. You guys have a lot better evidence than I did. So I totally went against my question, but that's why you guys are all here for that. So,
and that's why you're the host.
And that's why you go last.
Yeah, because honestly, I was like struggling trying to think, but I was like, that was the first guy who popped in my mind when you gave me the question. So, all right, let's move to the last part of the show, and that's going to be our game of the week. All right, Doc. Hopefully you have a better game because I feel like your games have been lacking recently.
Are you serious? Just because you were awful, because you were awful at my game last week doesn't mean it was bad. All right, let's calm that down.
What do you got?
So we're gonna play a little odd one out here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a stat or a question, and I'm gonna give you 4 players. 3 of them have done what I'm requesting, and then 1 hasn't. And so the thing is, if Simeone wins, he has to do his dance. We all agreed upon this prior to the show.
No, because he's going to try to throw the game. He's going to throw the game then.
Why would he want to ruin his reputation and record on triple play games?
What's his record?
Dancing?
I'm 1-0.
You're 1-0. Oh, all right. Yeah, we got it.
Oh, he is 1-0. Oh man, I wish I could
take you down.
I wish we could take him down. So the order is going to be David, Lauren, Simeone, and then Lauren, Simeone, David. You guys get the point. I have 5 questions here and a 6 for a bonus one. You guys ready?
All right, let's go.
So the first one is, which one of these stud pitchers has not had a season with an ERA over 4? Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw, Jacob deGrom, or Max Scherzer?
I feel like it. I'm pretty sure I remember Verlander doing it. Scherzer maybe when he was his Arizona days. I'm pretty sure. I want to say it. Jacob deGrom, and I'm very confident in that answer.
Okay, Lauren.
I'm going with Kershaw.
Okay, Simione.
Yeah, it's between deGrom and Kershaw for me. I'm pretty sure. I know Scherzer definitely did. Verlander, I feel like he did too. I'm gonna lean Kershaw because I think deGrom had above a 4 ERAs when he came up, maybe, or a year or two.
Wait, before you say it, when Eric smiles like that, it means you hit the nail on it. Am I right?
No, it's actually deGrom.
Oh yeah,
that's why I had Simione. That's why I had you go in last for the first one, because I was like, he's probably gonna know that. So I couldn't let David piggyback off of you, but I can't believe
I couldn't
David.
remember. I felt like there was a season where he was close, like early on.
Kershaw had one season. I think it was his third that he had an ERA over 4. But other than that, it's been in the 1s, 2s, or 3s.
Yeah.
David off to a good start. Take him down and squash him like the bug he is. Lauren, we're starting with you for this one. Mm-hmm. Which one of these players has not had a season with 40-plus stolen bases? Andrew McCutchen, Jose Altuve, Starling Marte, or Trey Turner?
I'm going to go with McCutchen.
Okay. Simione?
Say them again.
McCutchen, Jose Altuve, Starling Marte, and Trey Turner.
I want to say Altuve.
Okay. And David?
I feel like it's either McCutchen or Marte, because I'm pretty sure Altuve had a 40 stolen base season, and I'm pretty sure Turner did too. 30s. I'm gonna go with I don't think McCutchen quite got. I'm gonna go McCutchen.
It is Andrew McCutchen. So Lauren and David get a point.
All right.
Oh gosh, David's gonna come back and say, Eric, great game. Well, you know what? David had a lead like this at one point and then lost it. So I'm just hoping this happens. Simione, we're starting with you on this. Which one of these players has not had 100 or more walks in a season? Albert Pujols, Anthony Rizzo, Paul Goldschmidt, or Miguel Cabrera?
I'm going to go with Goldschmidt.
David?
Not had 100 or more walks?
Yeah.
Wait, can you list the names again?
Yeah. Albert Pujols, Anthony Rizzo, Paul Goldschmidt, and Miguel Cabrera.
I'm going to go Miguel Cabrera. I don't remember him. I know he walked some, but I don't think he walked to the clip the other three have.
Okay. Lauren?
I'm going to go with Goldschmidt.
Y'all are wrong. It's Anthony Rizzo. Oh, most walks he's had in the season is 91.
Wow. I'm surprised. I thought for sure it wasn't like
you know what? I had to double check that, take out my contacts, put them back in. So nobody gets a point on that. We got 2-1-0, and we're starting with Lauren on this one. Which one of these players has not led the major leagues in strikeouts in a season? Is it Yoan Moncada, Aaron Judge, Eugenio Suarez, or Giancarlo Stanton?
Has not led. Strikeouts. I will go with Moncada.
Okay. Simione?
I'm going to go with Stanton.
And David?
The only one I'm 100% sure isn't the answer is Moncada, because he did it his first year with the White Sox, I believe.
Okay.
You need the answer. Do you need the answers again, or do you have them?
No, I think I'm going to go. It's Judge, Stanton, and what was the other one?
Suarez.
I don't think Suarez has done it yet. I think he's been close, but I'll say Suarez.
It's Giancarlo Stanton. So the year that Yoan Moncada led it in 2019, that's the third most strikeouts all time in a season. Giancarlo Stanton was 2 strikeouts behind him. So he has the 6th highest strikeout in a season, but he was second that year. So Simeone's on the board.
That was the other one I was going to say.
We got the final question here. If Lauren or Simione get it and David doesn't, we got a tie for the tiebreaker. And we are starting with you on this one, Simione. Which one of these players has not had 40 or more saves in a season? Is it A, Aroldis Chapman, B, Wade Davis, C, Joakim Soria, or D, Greg Holland?
I want to say Soria.
Okay. David?
Greg Holland, Joakim Soria. What were the other two?
Aroldis Chapman and your boy, Wade Davis.
Oh, God. I think when Wade Davis was with the Royals, he had like 30-something saves, just a very, very low ERA. So I'm going to say Wade Davis. Also, shout out to Coaching Ish, too.
I'm also going to go with Davis.
It's Aroldis Chapman. Most he's had in the season is 37. Greg Holland
baffling.
had a couple 40s with the Rockies and with the Royals. Wade Davis actually had 40 in a season with the Royals as well. And Soria back with the Royals in the day. So David wins. Wow. Do you guys want to do the 6 for fun?
Sure.
Hey, Doug, you want to celebrate my win with me?
No. We'll do this after. We'll do this after. All right. Which one of these players is not inside the top 20 active home runs? Is it A, Carlos Santana, B, Anthony Rizzo, C, Jose Abreu, or D, Manny Machado?
Who doesn't have 20 home runs?
It isn't inside the top 20 active home run hitters.
Like for this season?
No. For a career. Oh, like obviously Miguel Cabrera or Albert Pujols is number 1 in active. Cabrera is 2. Active home run hitters.
I feel like it has to be.
Am I going first?
Sure, David.
I'll say, give me the names again.
Carlos Santana, Anthony Rizzo, Jose Abreu, Manny Machado.
Jose Abreu.
Okay. Lauren?
I'm just Machado.
Simione?
I'm going to say Abreu too because he came up late.
You guys are right. It's a good thing we didn't have to go to this tiebreaker. Carlos Santana is 17th active. Rizzo is 19th. Machado is 20th. Jose Abreu is 22.
Wow. So I got, what did I get? 3 out of the 6?
Something like that.
You know what? 50%. 50% in this game. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You're so ugly.
I'm just happy I took down Simione. He is now, there's one less person that's undefeated in this game, or undefeated on the Triple Play show.
I can't wait till David makes a gif of him Falcon smashing Simione. I'm going to do this to you just like I did in the game.
Well, Lauren, next time she comes, we have to get her on the board. Hopefully she can get the win.
I know.
I was rooting for you.
Thank you. I have to get on the board. I'll have to come back.
But yeah, on that note, appreciate you guys so much for coming on the show. Absolute blast, as I figured it would be. But can you guys, starting with Lauren, give our listeners, just plug everything you got going on, where they can find you, where they can listen to your podcast, anything you're writing or anything that you want the audience to know about?
Sure. I mean, my Twitter handle is at LK Auerbach. I've been writing some baseball articles over at Fantrax. And then I also, in addition to doing SP Streamer with Michael, I have another podcast with my buddy Andrew Seifter called The Rest of Season Rankings. And you can find that on Apple and Spotify. And we also have a website called rosrankings.com where you can find our rankings as well as other articles that we put up.
Yeah, actually, I checked the site out this past week. It's really cool because that's something that everybody needs to see. Like, they can see the changes as you guys are moving guys down. Like, the fact that you guys are centered on that is something that's like very needy in the fantasy community, being able to see how guys are trending. So I actually really like that idea. And if you have not checked out the rest of seasonrankings.com, you got to go check that out for sure.
Thank you. Yes.
And Simione, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with David. It is a cool website. I've definitely checked it out several times. You can follow me on Twitter at SPStreamer. You can check out our website, spstreamer.com. And I also write for Fangraphs once a week as well. And that's it.
Oh, it's short, sweet, and to the point. I was ready for a long thing, like, I'm going to beat David in Super Smash, or I'm going to...
I didn't even think... Oh, I mean, that's a given, so I figured why.
Yeah, he doesn't need to say that. Yeah.
I beat both y'all. All right, stop acting tough.
I don't know about that, but anyway, we appreciate everybody tuning in. However you consume Triple Play Fantasy, whether you watch, you listen, you just sit down with a coffee and do something else to watch Triple. I don't know what you do, but anyway, appreciate you guys checking out the show. We're going to be back next week, but with a different subject that I don't know yet, with somebody that I have not booked yet. So either way, it's going to be a fun show. But until then, everyone be safe out there. Enjoy another week of baseball. And we're going to make like a bread truck and we're going to haul these buns. Catch you guys